Support for the single parent. One, make a daily plan and try to keep it the same. Not only does a child with autism thrive on routine, it will become easier for you as well. So if you make a daily plan and try to keep it the same, it will start to, flow like a well-oiled machine. It will be good for you and as good for the child as well. Number two, if your child's with if your child is with the other parent, try to get them involved as well. Work together. If you're not married, but the mother or father is still around, try to work together to meet the child's needs. Number three, connect with other single parents who have kids with special needs. That's very, very important. We talked about this several times, making sure that you have a support group, a support system. Because one, you're a single parent, there, and some of us don't have the father in the child's life at all. So you definitely going to need a support system, and some people don't have the family around. So make sure you try to make connections with other single parents that will have children, especially on the spectrum. Number four, family time. Even if you're busy, make sure you have some time to spend time playing with your kid. Don't let it just be like, okay, it's time to learn. We're going to do these ABCs. No, do something fun with your kid. Take them to the park, take them to the music park or something. This will help you to open up, having them around, other people and not feeling, isolated. And it also helps them with their social skills as well. Number five, counseling does help with stress. We talked about that earlier. And number six, if you have other children who are old enough to help, let them help, but not too much. This is one thing that not even when you have a child with a special needs, this is in families altogether. When you have older kids, a lot of parents, especially with girls, they tend to make the girls raise the kids that's under them. Like, you're supposed to be the mama. Why am I doing all this? So be careful with that, not letting, the other children, do too much, because you don't want to overwhelm them either. And then you don't want them to have resentment too. Like, oh, why I got to watch Johnny all the time. So be careful when you do that. Also allow yourself to have help from families, church, neighbors. A lot of times with as single parents, we are so afraid that someone's going to hurt, our child. Nobody can take care of him better than me. Child, let me tell you, I learned that a long time ago, baby. When I was in New Orleans, and Mr. Caleb, he know the spirit. He knows, who I watch his body language and how he reacts to certain people. And I was able to come in contact with this older couple. Pop was like in his 80s, mom was like in his 70s or whatever. And so they became like my mom and dad in New Orleans. And Caleb loved them. Like he would get so excited to just go to their house and just hang out or whatever. And so because I was comfortable with them, he was comfortable with them. And it was nothing for say, can you watch Caleb this weekend? I just need a break. So you definitely need those types of things. And if you need assistance with housing, food care, and healthcare, make sure you reach out for it. Don't be too prideful that you don't reach out for help if you need it. Anything you want to add, Nikki?
Don't be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be ashamed to ask for help, because it's the shame of not knowing what's wrong with your child and having to tell somebody something you really are not educated to speak on. Besides just talking about the child's negative behaviors, like you said, let's point out the good things. It's good things.
Yeah.
Let's focus on some of those too.
Exactly.
So, the support is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out.
Yeah. Here is a few more. Take some time for yourself. And so that what you were saying, you're not alone. You deserve to be cared for too. Just know that you aren't perfect, and that is okay. You are a superhero. Yes, we are. Make time to enjoy your kids. You will be obligated to make a heart-wrenching decisions. Know that you have to make decisions that's may just be like a lot for you. And that's why you're supposed to have a support system. If you don't have that, like, there has been times when Caleb was smaller, he had to have surgery and I had to make that decision by myself. Like, he already has autism. Now you talking about you want to cut on him? What? So I mean, just be prepared. Prepare yourself when you're gonna have to make those type of decisions. Don't lose yourself, and of course, keep a sense of humor. Celebrate the little things, sort of like still like what we talking about with the couples. And this is one thing I talk to a lot of the parents about. Don't compare yourself and your child to other people. Don't do that, because that's going to drive you crazy. Don't do that. Don't compare, that child's doing this and why my child not doing that, because that's going to drive you crazy. Don't do that, because everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's child is different. Everybody's parenting style is different. You have to, like I said at the last point, trust your instincts of how you need to navigate with your own child. Anything you want to add to this, Nikki?
All great. Okay. You are so on point.
I'm trying. All right. Sharing the diagnosis with family and friends. Focus on the behaviors. Explain autism basics. Please don't go into like scientific stuff and stuff like that, people, because like everybody, look, Uncle Junebug is not going to understand all that kind of stuff. Just stick to the basics, y'all. Don't go through all that. The CDC says such and such and such and such. They be like, well, what's the CDC? So keep it simple, guys, when you're explaining it to your family and friends. Explain how the diagnosis will help how the diagnosis will help your child, and anticipate difficult reactions. Do not be surprised that some people will be sad, mad, disgusted, and just think you just crazy. I mean, don't be surprised at people's reaction. And then you may have some people who like, they'll stop talking to you, stop being friends with you, because again, they think that something's wrong with you, what you do to your kid, that kind of thing. So yeah.
Or they don't know how to, critique or, discuss. It's a lot to go on.
It's a lot. Yeah.
The other side, like, it's nothing that's happening to you, especially if we're family. You can offer some strengths that you may be able to present to my child that might, assist to a degree, especially if we trust them as people that love them, that love me, love us. So, those people they'll show their head. You'll know who they are. And the others.
Yeah. So what to do when your family doesn't accept autism? Okay. This is a big one, especially when especially when you're dealing with old-fashioned great grandmas and aunties, and in the community. I mean, you run into this. You got the generational differences. Great grandma and grandma are like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that baby. That baby just got, a little water on his head. Yeah. When I heard that, Nikki, I was like, a little water on his head.
His head down, right? You gotta.
Yeah, but like, I was like, that is some back in the Bayou Woods. Like, oh, that baby just got some water on his head. He was like, really, grandma? Okay. The fear of stigma. They fear it too. So like, oh, we can't have family reunion with little Tim Tim because they think little Tim Tim gonna be off the chain. Or they don't want to be associated because they don't understand it. They don't understand the behaviors, or not being able to talk, because, a lot of our autistic kids, they have repetitive behaviors, they stem, and, they don't understand. So they like, okay, people won't be looking at us crazy.
Those some like of the social cues.
Yeah, exactly. So those are them things that your family members may, they're gonna be like, I don't know about this, but okay. And this one right here, yes, not not actually knowing what autism is. Some of the older people think it's like Rain Man. They always use that example, Rain Man.
Right. Is he like Rain Man?
Yes.
So is he smart and he know the planets?
Right. Like he's like Rain Man. Okay, I know what that is. Do you? Some may see autism as an excuse for bad parenting and bad behaviors. Yes,
that one. I think that's what I'm seeing in my
very
important.
Yes,
he's just bad.
Because the park be and full. They try to beat it out of him, punish it out of him, and not understanding that there is something really, really, really going on here, and you need to get your child evaluated. Right. Some seeing themselves in an autistic person, they may look and like, oh well, heck, I might be autistic too because I don't like vegetables. They might say something off the wall, so be prepared. They have some may have a positive reasons for autism, like, oh, he just being a kid, he'll grow out of it. He'll be all right. I was like that too.
Or they'll say maybe he'll be a genius in something.
Right. Yeah, I get that specific. Too. Yeah. They don't understand autism, so they'll push it to side like, child, I don't got time. They think they know what autism is, and then they don't agree with the right diagnosis. They may say, oh, that's not autism. I know all about it because I work at a doctor's office. That's such and such. That's just ADHD. That's not autism. Child, if you don't sit down somewhere just because you a CNA, don't make you an expert on autism. Okay.
And then they'll be sitting there trying to figure out what made it happen.
Right. Like, child, I did some reading. No.
What shot did you get? From what?
Right. They try to get down to the nitty gritty. And then the next one is they don't know how to handle it. It's become overwhelming for them to consider. Some of the bullet points I have on is establish why they don't believe you or your child has autism. So that's one of the communication cues you need to do. You establish why they don't believe you. And if they are comfortable with discussing the subject, pitch your conversation at their current understanding. So start where they understand at. Not the craziness, but the basics. If you have a professional person that can come in and talk with them, that will be also a plus. If they don't want to talk about autism, talk about the struggles without mentioning the diagnosis. A lot of times you just have to change your conversation and not put the word autism in, because if they still don't know, understand, or grasp or want to accept the word autism, find another way to kind of explain some of the behaviors or some of the things that you're dealing with the diagnosis.
So to a degree, you can, explain it in a way of, how children develop at a certain range. This child may not meet some of those milestones ever.
Exactly.
Or they may fully meet many of them and get to a point and digress.
Yeah.
Or even, like you said, continue on again. And then now we're moving a little further. So it really, everybody's an individual.
Exactly.
But the more positive, the more we give, the more we try to do, they'll be a little bit more highly functional.
You see my little grandparents over here?
Helping grandparents, because
yes.
I mean, yes.
They're just like the mom and dad, you know what I mean? That's like my first grandbaby, you know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and I don't want to just say for grandparents either, not to say grandparents are ignorant, but for ignorant people too, because it's just So here's a couple of ways you can kind of get it with the grandparents. Okay, grandparents, they go through the stages as well. They can't believe it's happening to my family. What's in my family line? What did the ancestors do? Child, they say it all. I'm trying to tell you. I heard it all. What will happen to my grandchild? They're worried about that, so they're fearful as well.
this comes from my daughter's side of the family. Look, they start blaming. Look, they start blaming something like that come from your side of the family. It come from mine. I'm trying. I have heard it all. I'm trying to tell you. They ain't come from this side of the family. It must have came from that side of the family. I don't know what that was. They have the guilt. Did I do something to cause this? Did something happen on the plantation? I mean, yeah, they, you know, did I give my daughter something that she shouldn't have? The grandparents go through the same things, same feelings and emotions as well. And one of the things I wanted to get into is like the powerlessness. They feel powerless. What will happen to my grandchild when I can no longer help? When I can no longer be able to help my son or daughter, you know, watch him or take care of him. You know, that's one of the things that a lot of the grandparents or great grandparents experience, and also they experience disappointment and confusion as well. Siblings, helping siblings understand and cope with the diagnosis. Some things other children may be struggling with. Young children may not understand what is wrong with their brother or sister. They may have feelings of jealousy and resentment because you're spending so much time with this child. You're doing so much for this child more than them. They may feel angry over unequal treatment. Same thing. They may feel embarrassed with friends or in the community settings. You know, when you're taking them out and brother's flapping his wings, you know, they don't want to be seen. They want their friends to see that because they're going to be asking questions like, why your brother flapping his wings? What he trying to fly? You know, kids don't want to, you know, they don't want to deal with that. They often feel frustrated. Siblings worry about their brothers or sisters and their parents. Kids worry about us, the parents too. They worry about their family too. So we have to be very mindful of not stressing out the other kids as well. And then they are unable to express their feelings. Here are some strategies for supporting your other children. Help them to understand what is autism. Encourage them to play and form a relationship with their sibling. Find support groups for children or teens. Counseling. Acknowledge their contributions. Acknowledge their victories. Don't just, you know, focus on the child with a disability. Take time along with them. Don't just spend all your time with, you know, the child with disability. Make sure you're spending time with them as well. Do something what they like to do. Take them out for ice cream without JoJo. Just make some me time with, you know, the other children. Allow independence and individual time and have individual time and activities, like we said. Spend more time with them as well. Anything you want to add to this, Nikki?
Honey, what? This is all awesome. This is great. Parenting strategies. This is, you know, we need this. People need this. They don't know how to do these things. You know, your oldest should not be mothering the youngest. You know, it shouldn't be that be the focus. You know, most of us, it's on a need because I gotta go to work, so you have to step in and do this. But this is awesome. The strategies to support your other children is great. It's all great information. Now let's try to utilize it, implement it, so we can see the results. Because these children, you're absolutely right. When there's a house full and you have 5 kids and one is on the spectrum, the other children are probably going to be a little resentful or whatever. But like I said, I have a few out here. They may not know I know, but I know. And they see, you know, and I see they come to me first. First is like, you know, let's see if she's going to be, you know, when they see how friendly I am and how aware I am and how welcoming I am, it's like, okay, she's cool. So they'll open up a little more and tell me a little bit of what they know, you know. So kindness, like I said, it goes a long way.
It does. It does.
It really does.
It does. Okay. Building family relationships and friendships. Building your family with resilience, focusing on relationships within your family, focus on your family strengths, identify family members' strengths and resources, focus on staying connected and committed to each other, and work together as a family. This part is about journaling and mental health care. And again, these parts will be in the packet that you can get after the presentation. I'll give everybody information of, how to get a copy of the presentation, and also the workbook with the questions, and how to journal, how to create your autism care book, keeping everything together. So all that's going to be in the packet for you guys. So that's why I skipped over those parts. What are your rights? You must have please have your rights.
This is one of the logos that I put on clothing for myself.
Yeah, I found that on our friend Google.
Because I saw it, I was like, I got that before. Okay.
So I got what are your rights? You have a right to feel angry. You have a right to keep trying. You have the right to seek another opinion. You have the right to stop trying. You have the right to set limits. You have the right to just be you have the right to do anything besides abuse. You have the right, because at this point you are in the point where I need to do what is best for my child. So I have the right to fight however I need to fight for my child. You have a right to privacy. Make sure you know that they don't need to know all your business. If you don't want them to know all your business, you have a right to challenge the doctors. You have the right to challenge the teachers. You have the right to challenge the IEP director. It is your right. Look, let's be transparent. You have the right to be annoyed with your kid, okay? Because sometimes they can be a trip. Because when Mr. Caleb be going through all them paper towels, baby. I mean, like, you need a job. But these are your rights. Don't feel bad about it. These are the rights that you have as a parent. Mm-hmm. Same thing as a regular kid. The normal kid, you got the right to feel that way too, but you got that right. Okay. This part of my initiative is I call it SAFE. That's why you have the ACCP. SAFE is support, advocacy, friendship, and encouragement. This is the top things that I want to promote. That you have support, you have advocacy, and you develop friendships, and you have encouragement. And this is where I got the acronym SAFE from. So this is the time to take time to accept the diagnosis. Remember that a diagnosis does not define your child. It is your child. It is not autism. It is not the end of the world. It's just beginning. Your child just learns different. They think a different way. We want them to be like us, and do things like us, but they just have their own unique way of doing things. And instead of us trying to force them to learn our ways, maybe we need to just take a little time to learn their ways. Like I learned with Mr. Caleb, he learns in rhythm. That's why he's so good with music, because he learns in rhythm. I had to learn that. Take the time to learn your child. That's one of the things I preach or teach with a lot of the parents. Learn your kid's niche. I learned that music was Mr. Caleb's niche, minus YouTube. It's his niche. Rhythm is his niche. He learns quicker and faster. The way he do math problems is rhythm. He gets it with rhythm. He gets it with a humming. He gets it with the beat of a drum. He gets it. This is how he learns. So remember that the diagnosis does not define your child. Reach out to your local support and advocacy groups. If you don't have a strong support system, especially your single parents, reach out to local support groups. There are many support groups online. If you don't want to do the in-person thing, reach out to the ones that are online as well. On my website, I have a list of those, and also that's what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the things.
income bracket, there's funding.
There's funding for it, exactly. So a lot of the information is on the website. Do not focus on the past. Don't worry about what did I eat when I was pregnant to make the baby have autism. Stop doing all that. Or was it when I went to this party and I didn't know I was pregnant? Child, leave that alone. Don't focus on that. Just look towards the future. Keep life in balance. Keep your work life, home life balanced. When you find yourself being unbalanced or stressed out about either way, this is the time you need to step back, reevaluate, and see where you need to make some adjustments to keep work life and home life and autism life balance. That's a hard thing to do, and I have some of those tips in the workbook to do. And everything that I have in there is literally my experience of keeping everything together, having a full-time job and two businesses, and helping Mr. Caleb through his journey, and then in recent years taking care of my parents. So I had to balance all those things. So a lot of things in the workbook is from experience. Identify others who can help care for your child. We talked about that earlier. Identify some people that understands your child is comfortable with, where you can take some time for yourself. This is a very helpful thing, and this will help him also with social interactions when it's not just you. And again, I had to learn that the hard way too, because when my son was out, I didn't want nobody I felt like nobody understood. Nobody will understand Mr. Cable. Nobody's gonna take care of Mr. Cable like me. So it was just he and I against the world. He was up under me all the time. I never would let him out of my sight. But then I had to learn to, let go, because he's not just, we think in our minds that because our child has a disability or whatever, we think this is this fragile thing that like an egg that you got to protect all the time. No, like now, child, Caleb's 6'3", 300 something pounds. I don't need to, I don't need, child, he be taking care of me. Monitor and care for your own emotional needs. Very, very important, ladies. I'm speaking to the ladies, and again, I'm speaking from experience. I spent a lot of my life caring for Caleb. I had put aside dating. I have put aside getting married. I have, everything for me to bring me happiness, I put aside because I was so focused on Mr. Caleb. So I'm telling you, ladies and gents, make sure you don't, your life, your separate life from your child, don't become autism. Don't do that, because then you'll be like how Kevin Samuel says, by dog dialogue. There has been times where I mean, I could have been married a long time ago, but because of my fears that I didn't want nobody to hurt Caleb or mistreat him, or even though I was comfortable with the person, but you just don't know, you know what I mean? So it was like I had, so I just had to, so I had to, right? So I was just
going to cause you to make a hard decision you don't want to do, because you probably like the guy, but your child is more important. So
exactly,
I don't even want to create that.
For years, that's where I was, because like people like, girl, you be the first one I would think that you would be married. No, because I just felt like I just had to make sure that he was in a place where I wouldn't be worried. So now that he's older and he's higher up on the spectrum, and he's able to tell me if somebody hurts him or pretty much beat them up himself. So I'm more at ease, with my own personal life, because for years you would think that, the journey was all about him. And I lost, like I said, don't lose yourself. I lost myself. For years, I've lost myself. I no longer knew who I was, because
Caleb's mom.
I was Kayla's mom. That was it. Like
A lot of us
brown sugar, because I used to be called brown sugar. I ain't gonna say that, but he's called brown sugar was gone, baby. Brown sugar, who's brown sugar, baby? I'm Kayla's mom. That's it. But please, moms and dads, don't do that, because then you're gonna look back over your life. I mean, even though you were like, yes, I got my child to a certain space in their life, but then when you look back on it, you can see that you are incomplete and empty, or not having companionship that you deserve, because you didn't take the time to cultivate or develop a relationship and satisfy your emotional needs. So don't do that. That's my tip for y'all. Focus on your child's individual achievements. Get help for difficult behaviors. Yes, and yes, ladies and gents, please do not try to beat your child to death because he has a difficult behavior. Okay, make sure you seek out professional help and other ways to help define and to resolve some of the difficult behaviors. Like, for example, there was a mom where she couldn't take her kid nowhere. Like, she couldn't go to the store because he would just tear up the store, baby. Grocery shop? Nope. No. And one of the things that I teach the moms is like, a lot of times our kids look for discipline, They thrive on that kind of stuff. And they know if I just do whatever, mommy gonna give me whatever I want. And once they figure that out, they're gonna keep throwing themselves against the wall or tearing up a store because they know that mommy gonna give me what I want. So she was like, how do you have Mr. Caleb? So he's so well behaved, blah, blah, blah. My kid go nowhere. And I told him, like, I do not treat Mr. Caleb different from any other kid. If you catch my drift, I'll bust a cat. Me and all my 5 foot.
Right. But even having it instilled young, he knows that.
Well, I instilled that in Mr. Caleb, little baby. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be and speak with authority. And we said that before. You have to speak not just with the doctors, but with the kids. Speak with the authority. Now, later on in the summer, I will be doing another webinar on how to deal with your child with difficult behaviors that you just can't seem to get through. So I will be doing that sometime in the summer, probably in July. So I'll get some tips on how to deal with that. But you have to speak with authority, mean what you say, and do what you say. Like, literally, Caleb is 18 years old. I only had to spank Caleb 3 times in his whole entire life. And if I raise my voice right now, guess who won't act right? Because he know mommy ain't playing. And that's what a lot of parents do when they have a child with a disability. They play with them and they're soft with them and they think that that's the best thing for them. No, children thrive on authority and discipline.
That's right.
They crave it. It's in them. So just because they have a disability doesn't mean that you go ahead and like, oh, okay, he's crying. Go ahead and give him what he want. No, child. He going
everything.
Yeah, he gonna ride you crazy.
Creating a behavior.
Well, let me just cry right now, or let me just throw everything out the window. Mommy gonna give me what? Child, please, not me. We ain't doing that. The next one is help educate others about autism. We talked about that. Especially with your family members. Create a safe zone. Very, very important. You have to create a place. Your home's supposed to be a safe haven for your child. So even if they wander off, a lot of times, just like a dog or a cat, they know where the safe place is. And a lot of times when kids wander off and stuff, they usually find their way back home because they know where their safe haven is. So make sure you create a safe space for your child, safe space on the outside, safe space on the inside, wherever you go, just to know that you're comfortable. you're fine, you're safe. And, and because a lot of times kids act out when they're feeling unsafe, or they're feeling agitated. They get agitated when they're feeling smothered or things like that. So a lot of times you have to create a space, wherever you're going, making sure that they are calm. Like with Mr. Caleb, when he was smaller, he had a weighted vest that kept him, calm. Some of his stimming, and we'll talk about that in another presentation. Some of the stimming techniques, some of the pressure points that will help them as well. That's another way to keep, create a safe space. Of course, looking beyond autism. Accept your child as he or she is. Don't be ashamed. Because I see a lot of times, baby. Sometimes I see these other kids, baby. I have an autistic kid before because some of these other kids, child, please.
On the more well-behaved side.
Yes, okay. Like my child like to clean too, and your child don't want to clean at all. Child, yes, baby, give me. I'm not ashamed at all.
Shame comes from the blame. The blame. Maybe I didn't do as much. When they see yours doing a little bit more, it's like, maybe I should have pushed a little more instead of pacified.
Yes. Be there when your child needs you. Learn to have patience. Nikki says that all the time. Patience. Properly discipline your child. There we go. Properly discipline your child. Properly is the word. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say you lock them up in the dog cage and all that kind of stuff like some crazy people be doing. But, like we said before, children thrive on routine, discipline, and authority. Be honest with yourself, others, and your child. Be honest with them too. Don't waste time and energy on missing in action family members. Look, if your friends and family members are missing in action, they're not there for you. They don't check on you. They don't call you to see how your kid's doing, or if you need any help or whatever. Child, please don't waste your time and energy worrying about them, because I've learned that whatever been missing in my life, God has always replaced them with others. So yeah, don't stretch yourself out by other people. Take a positive approach to this journey, and the number one thing is don't give up. Don't give up. There has been times when I felt like Mr. Caleb wouldn't do this or won't do that, and you guys will see on the Saturday presentation everything that the doctor said he would not do. Guess who doing it? Don't give up.
Mr. Caleb. That's right.
Mr. Caleb. Don't give up. Here are some other some resources and references. Again, this will be in the webinar packet. So you have some resources, some websites that you can go to and get some more information that you may need. And request for materials. Okay. So if you would like to get a copy of the presentation and the workbook, please go to the website, autisticchildrenconnectingparents.com, or you can email me at accp.safe@gmail.com. Again, you can go to the website and fill out a contact us form. Or you can email me at accp.safe@gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat as well. So I will definitely email everything out to you. I want to say thank you to Nikki for coming in for this presentation.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it. I've always enjoyed the community, and being part of that inclusion.
Yeah. With my people, so also, if you would like to have a parent-to-parent counseling or support meeting, virtual or on the phone, please just give me a call at 709-6431 to schedule your appointment. Or you can go to the website again or the email and send me a message. We can set up a time to have a conversation. If you have any questions, you are uncertain about something, you need information that you can't seem to find in your area. It does not matter where you live. I have connections everywhere. I know somebody knows somebody.
Here's what you missed on the last episode of Red Lipstick Vibes. Don't forget to like, comment,